Book of the Past, a rewriting of Crowley's Liber al Legis and Parsons' fourth chapter that I feel is better attuned to the age in which we are now residing, by Wise-Thrice. Book 1. I speak truthfully, for there is no faith higher than truth. Let others settle for convention over truth. It will be their folly, and I shall not share in it. For though convention may comfort, it fades. Though truth may trouble the spirit, it is eternal. Therefore know that I speak truthfully, and will do so against the opinion of the entire world, if needs be. A finite flame is created, sustained, and shaped by the infinite sacred fire. Each thing that is the result of all the things that could have been before it was. It is the same with every person who is. They are the issue of all the people that could have been before they were, and are created, sustained, and molded by the infinite sacred fire. In the light of the sacred fire all shadows flee. By cultivating the light of the sacred fire, all ignorance is destroyed. The mysteries, truth which is evident but misunderstood, are revealed. Each and every flame is sacred, for it burns with the infinite sacred fire. Thus everything that exists is supposed to exist, and should not have its form changed without just cause and proper method. Every person that lives is sacred, and should be allowed to shine as they find proper and bright, as long as they do not burn another. Every flame is limited, but has access to the infinity of the sacred fire. With proper and dedicated practice, a flame can become a fire, then a bonfire, then a shining star like unto the sun, giving light and warmth to all, without expectation or price. Many are the torchbearers we have been given. The message of these servants is always timely and pertains to their age and their people. As you would not cook something needing long and low heat with a furious flame, thus you should not try to revive the exact practices of the past. Rather, keep the hard-earned wisdom and craft practices pertinent to your own age. When you convey this information, speak from the hearth of the sacred fire. Test your words and be sure they are of light and warmth. Speak wisely, patiently, from a desire to soothe. This message was not brought by a messenger. No angel, no god, no fairy can convey it. For this message, being present in you already, needs no prophet. It is not a dogmatic scroll you are being gifted, nor is it a set of obligations you are being forced to wear as chains. It is a clarion call. Awake, O sleeper. The Kree is in the Anum, not the Anum in the Kree. The heart is in the soul, not the soul in the heart. This is the basis for all the practical exercises imparted to you to increase your knowledge, wisdom, and potency. Care for the Anum, and the Kree will follow your lead. When the Anum is properly cared for, there is no delay in response between the Anum and the Kree. When you are properly aligned, the Anum shines forth, and all can sense your harmonious state. This work will never be the majority faith of a country. It is not well suited to the vapidness and platitudes that the religions of the past have diluted themselves into for the sake of increasing the quantity of believers. This work is challenging and will confront your most treasured delusions, destroying them. The number of workers will therefore always be few, but fear not, for those with true spiritual potency are the masters of themselves, reacting properly to the difficulties they suffer without distress. Compared to those that are not in control of themselves, a worker is a sovereign of their circumstances, and others are but servants of their circumstances. Yet the religions of the past and the systems of self-help are more popular, for they market themselves to the foolish who believe that something can come from nothing. There is no gain without work. There is no progress without discipline. None can save you. You must save yourself. Those that are ready will hear this call, and they will come out from the systems of comfortable dissatisfaction that they were raised in. They will leave behind both excess and denial and embrace harmony. They will fulfill their needs and refine their souls. They will find their sustaining power in themselves and foster growth in one another. They will know all. They will live all. They will be in harmony with all. The sacred fire infuses us, surrounds us, responds to us as we to it. The ancestors, the holy ones, the force called God, all share our experiences. They weep when we weep. They exclaim when we exclaim. Our joy is their joy. Their achievements are our achievements. Look above you, into the starry nights. Know that your reality is limitless. All things that could be all things that could have happened, all things that are, all things that did happen, all things that can't be, and all things that never were, are funneled into where you are, when you are, right now. Exult in your being and be. There are many false prophets and quick study gurus. What good has a new religion ever truly done? A new religion, at its best, is the changing of language for a new audience and a refinement of another author's work to make a work more fitting to the modern times. Thus you will know a true teacher not by his appeals to the past or her visions of the far future, but by their practical, daily practice and inner harmony. In the orders that these good teachers erect, there will be rules and ceremonies, and their goal must be the refinement of character, and these rules and ceremonies must never endanger the body, mind, or spirit. You do not need to be a leader to make progress. Progress is more important than blind adherence to any rule or practice. This is why many who progress to what is commonly called enlightenment do not take on students, for they know they do not have the skill to teach. And these are the signs of any spiritual discipline you should avoid. Beware of any discipline that threatens to damn the soul if you do not submit to their control. Beware of any discipline that requires you believe in a single man or woman as the voice of God. Beware of any discipline that believes in only ecstatic bliss as a guide to proper living, for many that make this mistake pass their days in revels and neglect to strengthen themselves, nor be an inspiration to others. Beware of those that claim, this rite, this spell, this practice leads to enlightenment, for it is not in any one practice, any one book, or any one teacher that you can be taught all the signposts that will mark the path. Beware of any who claim they alone have the true teaching. Those of us who work with the holy ones, those of us who work with the sacred fire, go unseen by those that choose to be blinded by convention. Our every act is a devotion to others, our tradition, and ourselves. We are the holy ones, and they are us. We burnt the sacred fire, and we are the sacred fire. The sacred fire is everlasting and ever present, and through it we acknowledge that all are as unto us. There is no higher nor lower station. There is only variance amongst traditions because of the distance of space and time. Judge not that someone or something is inferior simply because it is not familiar, but see truly. Let those that accomplish this be trusted and heeded, for this is one of the tasks that establishes lasting power. Seek awareness of the sacred fire, attune yourself to its motion, perform beneficial rites, and enact uplifting practices for yourself and others. Should you hear a voice telling you, "Thou art chosen," evict it from your house. Do not let it knock on your door. Should you have a dream or vision commanding you to preach to others or lead a movement, know it is only your own mind, for the holy ones may guide you for the benefit of yourself, but men and women should guide other men and women. And when you speak of the holy ones, speak of them as parts of a whole, like the facets of a treasured, sparkling gem that catches the light. And when you speak of the sacred fire, speak of it as the rays of light the gem casts, the gem, and the light that suffuses all these, for it is unending, everlasting, and continuous. Some may ask, if all is this unity, why then the divisions? Why holy ones, ancestors, forces, elements, fairies, and the different nations of humankind? And instruct them thus. Division is but a tool, like the chapters of a book, or the sentences of a page, or words of a sentence, or the letters of those words. They appear separate that the whole may be known. We, likewise, are divided that we may choose to unite. Choose therefore to unite. For the sake of love, see your part of the dance, and step accordingly. Nor envy nor pity those that dance other parts, for that is the cause of much suffering. You may suffer in the dancing, as others attempt to cause you to take after their own part, but stay faithful to your own. Fools and villains will care not for their own part, and instead seek the glory of others, all in the pursuit of weak joys and fading glory. They write their own texts they must name holy, and demand that others follow every word and every letter. Truly I say to you that the way is found by testing. Test what is said, and if it proves reliable, if it proves dependable, if it proves effective, if it proves kind and true, then add it to the tome of wisdom you each shall keep for yourselves. The word of the universal law is not will, as others have falsely claimed. You have heard some pervert that false teaching further by claiming that the will to power to dominate and control all around you, is the purpose of man. Truly I say to you, the word of universal law is not exousia, power, nor dynami, strength, nor elenkos, control, nor savia, piety, nor thelema, will. The word of the universal law is ma'at, harmony, or in the tongue above, armonia. Many need a label by which to call their course of study, and those that embark on it with them. Take care, for to name is to define, and to define is to divide, and it is easy to focus on the division rather than the relation of one thing to another, one path to another, one person to another. If you must call those that accept these lines into their own tome of wisdom anything, call them the wise. For those that embark upon knowledge, gather wisdom, and practice discipline will find harmony. And there are some that need a grade or a title that they may know their progress. But I say to you, keep this simple tradition. There are those that are adepts, who have great experience in the work, those that are novices, who have some experience in the work, and those that are initiates, who have recently begun the work. By merit and wisdom you shall know them, and by your accomplishments you shall know yourself. And you have heard those that rant against the world and its people, that claim that all is in a state of loss. They show their ignorance, yet the world and its people are in a wounded state, often of their own ignorance. It is not your burden to cure the entire world, but it is your obligation to care for the part of it you live within, and the people that ask aid of you. And if all so do, then the many will be the benefits. You need not long lists of thou shalt and thou shalt not, but it is a grave error to think that progress can be made without discipline. When you restrict yourself from harmful practices, you increase yourself. Yet you must not refuse your curiosity, nor when you feel the need to risk a new venture or path of learning. Trust your inner desires, for they are a message of what you need to master. I speak truly. The journey to self-mastery brings about harmony. There is no greater bond than the wise and their self-mastery. Make self-mastery your sole purpose, your sole right. I speak truly. The method you shall use is this. Do this and none shall prevent your progress. In all you attempt it without attachment to the desired result, as an archer thinks not of hitting the target, but of performing each detail of the draw, aim, and release correctly. So you shall live your life. In your progress, you will notice 3 different degrees of ability: the initiate, the novice, and the adept. Those with less experience and skill should heed the advice of those with more wisdom and skill. The initiate focuses on learning magic, the novice on performing magic, the adept on abiding in magic. There is no secret to instant progress. Learning, performing, and abiding in magic is a skill. Like any skill, it must be upkept to be efficacious. Being wise involves the maintaining the harmony of the mind and all the conflicting desires that are therein. When all within the wise is aligned with their purpose, then the conflicting desires cease to impede the wise one's abiding in the state of magic, and the wise one can act freely and correctly. Many have called this one mind, but this can lead the initiate astray. You are not a single voice. You are a chorus. Each desire within you giving voice to its own part of the song. Thus, if you find one part of your being neglected or demanding attention for healing, it will not sing well. Your purpose is your song. Be sure that all the choristers know their own part. Much can be learned from the parables of the ox and the boy leading it. Any ritual that does not produce results, any secret knowledge that is of no use, any award by organizations that become calcified and heavy with pomp, these are all abrogated the moment the initiate begins the work. There is no higher honor than to be unified with your purpose. I warn you about the work. It is not the same for all. For some the work seems easy, for others they must struggle. Do not compare the trials the work will demand of you to the tribulations or pleasantries of others. The work instructs all of us individually, tailoring to our souls and minds the lessons we must learn. To believe that what the work demands of one of us compared to another is unfair is to incorrectly assume that every one of us is but a copy of each other, rather than the individuals that we are. The work involves understanding the four worlds of creation, called in the Druidic tradition Anun, Abred, Gwenefid, Kaigant, or called in the Hermetic tradition Asiya, Yitzhara, Bria, and Atziluth, the three currents of the solar, lunar, and telluric, the interaction of the planets, the zodiac, alchemy, totems, and all other manner of secret learning. But all of this is for naught if the wise does not perform the work for the sake of their purpose. Unto the fulfillment of your purpose, and none other, should all learning and practice be directed. For the things I have listed above are but tools, and not the work itself. When you are harmonious, you will experience the world the way it is, the way it was, and the way it could be. Bliss shall pervade you that sustains but does not prompt delirium. Joy will infuse you that is laced with sorrows. You shall be driven, yet also content. No emotion will be unknown to you, and no emotion shall have power over you. In that state you will do great things. The work seems impossible, and so the people of the past believe that a God must come and perform this work for them. But I tell you truthfully that there is no one yet to be born or who has died who can do this work for you. Only your efforts can unite you with yourself. Only you can live according to your purpose. But what are the masters of old? What are the sages, the saints, and the ancestors? What are the religions they have left us and the scriptures they have bequeathed us? I say to you that it is proper to listen to the masters of old and quote their works, but it is an error to follow them blindly and assume that they know how you must perform your own work. If you discover in their writings a helpful tool, adopt it. If one of their teachings prevents your progress, discard it. Beware of any teaching that would convince you that this world is not admirable. Yes, there is suffering. Yes, there is entropy. But there is also joy, and there is also creation. This world is a proving ground, a stage, on which you have been set to play the role that is your purpose. But what are the relics of old? What are the grimoires and the elemental tools? As with the sages, the saints, and other esteemed ancestors, the magicians of old perform their work for them. Absorb that of it which is helpful, and reject that which does not resonate with your purpose. Place your faith in your work, and not in the poetry nor dross of another. The manifestations you bring about from the work help propel others to their own work. Do not cease your work, not even in the face of death, nor the burdens of dotage, nor poverty, and craft in alignment with your purpose.